Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I will call the June 26th meeting of the Budget, Finance, and Investment Committee to order. And before we begin our agenda, I want to take a little walk down memory lane and our county finance to share something from a 1973 newspaper article. And I think you're going to see that things sort of stay the same.
This article was in the Nashville Banner, July 10th, 1973.
Were you born then?
Yes, I was. Okay, so the headline is Rutherford tax hike. Oh, let me start over. Rutherford tax rate hiked 68 cents. This is an article written by Dan Whittle. Members of the Rutherford County Quarterly Court approved a new fiscal year tax rate of $3.22 per hundred assessed valuation, an increase of 68 cents above last year's figure. The total budget of $13,715,395 was approved, up about $1.6 million. The only amendment to the budget was a $600 salary increase to the county's mobile home and building inspector, who will receive $7,200 this next year. This was taken out of surplus funds and did not alter the tax rate. The breakdown on the tax levy
Listen to this.
42 cents county general fund, 20 cents road and workhouse fund, 5 cents bridge fund, $2.40 general purpose school fund, and 25 cents debt service fund. Newly elected County Judge Knox Ridley presided over the meeting. A county sanitary landfill site continued to plague the court, which has been attempting to find a suitable site that will meet federal and state regulations. County Attorney Bill Sellers explained the court could choose to take action in condemnation proceedings against certain properties, but said it is difficult.
And we're going to talk about condemnation tonight also.
But said it is difficult to determine what this would cost the county in the end. It was reported that 25 acres are available on the Epps Matthews Farm near Walter Hill for $15,000 annually. Judge Ridley advised the court's Public Works Committee to make a study of cost on the property within the next month. About 10 sites for the controversial landfill has been studied to date. Squire Zane Cantrell said some magistrates are going to have to eat their words regarding the development of former Stewart Air Force Base at Smyrna into a housing and industrial development, which has netted the county more than $800,000 since it was purchased in 1968. It initially was feared the property would be a liability to the county. The court refused to rezone property belonging to Miss Layla Bell Payton at the corner of Sam Davis Road and Young Road from agricultural to commercial. Ed Jones, a relative of Miss Payton, said it is his hopes to entice a bank to open a branch on the property. He admitted, however, no inquiries have been made with a bank. Squire Betty Jane Huggs said it would be good business to rezone property if the court can not be assured of what type business would be established. You might expect a flower shop and suddenly have a beer joint instead.
That's good.
Yeah. Gentlemen, we have minutes from our June 17th and June 19th meeting to approve.
Move to approve.
Commissioner Jernigan, thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Sandlin,
P.
or Commissioner P, sorry. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, let's begin with general fund budget amendments. And Mrs. Crowell, if you will join us, you are first on our list tonight. Good evening. Okay, if you will present your request, please.
We're taking $2,300 from travel, and $2,000 for from gasoline to put it in our line item for postal charges, and that is just to cover the charges through the end of this year. Part-time, I'm taking $1,600 from my deputies line and putting it into my part-time personnel line.
Move to approve.
Commissioner Jernigan, thank you.
Second motion.
Seconded by Commissioner Sandlin. Any discussions or questions for Mrs. Crowell? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have two amendments from the Correctional Work Center. Mrs. Nolan?
This request is to move funds to the sergeant's line item and the related benefits and the money taken from medical insurance. This is to provide sufficient funds. The shortage was due to 2 employees leaving and 1 was replaced by someone with a higher step. Due to the insurance tier chosen in 2013, there's funds available in the employee medical insurance line.
So moved.
We have another one. Can we do it together?
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, the second one, and I need to adjust this one, it needs to be 600 instead of 450 from the other contracted services to in-service training.
I'll move to approve both.
Thank you, Commissioner Sandlin.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Jordan. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Mr. Farley, if you will present your budget amendments, and you have 2. And we will take those as one vote if I hear no objection from the committee.
Need to move $2,000 out of maintenance agreements and $2,000 out of maintenance and repair buildings into communications for a total of $4,000. And then I have to have $200. I'm moving $200 out of pest control, $100 out of custodial supplies, $200 out of communications equipment into evaluation and testing. And evaluation testing is our training budget.
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Commissioner Sandlin, thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner P. Any further discussions or questions for Mr. Farley? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Farley. Other local health. Mrs. Nolan?
This is a request to move 4,000 from other supplies and materials to the travel. This is for the state budget, and this is for the travel for the nurses that travel within the county.
Approve.
Commissioner Sandlin, seconded by Commissioner Jernigan.
Schaefer. Schaefer.
Oh, Commissioner
Schaefer.
Schaefer made a motion, seconded by Commissioner Jernigan, correct? Okay. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Mr. Gregory, Pet Adoption and Welfare Services, you have 2 amendments?
Yes, ma'am. We're asking to move $2,500 from our attendant line item to our part-time line item so that we can pay our part-timers their final paycheck for the year, as well as moving $3,000 additional dollars from attendance to our overtime line item for the same purposes.
Motion to approve. Second.
Commissioner P, seconded by Commissioner Schaefer. Any further discussion or questions for Mr. Gregory?
Just a quick question.
Yes, sir.
Roughly, how many different people
Okay.
have you had on payroll this fiscal year? Can you just make a rough estimate?
I don't know that I'd be able to give you a rough estimate. You're asking for our turnover rate, basically.
Yeah, 40, maybe?
No, not that,
Okay.
no, sir, no, sir. I would say 15, maybe.
A bit more than that. You have more than that on your normal, don't you have about 17?
Well, I'm talking about 15 that have turned
Oh,
over.
okay, all right.
And that may be a high estimate. That'd be including part-time and full-time.
So,
The total county is around 3%. Some departments have higher, some have lower, so it's kind of a balance, but it's around 3.5% for the total county.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Stanley?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer? Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Gregory.
Thank you.
Information technology, Mayor Burgess?
I'll do that. This was in the budget, but this is for a software system that is used to archive our email, which are many, many of them. So they were short about $750, so with the amount of money they had originally projected, so we needed additional $1,000 to not overdraw this line item.
Move to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Jernigan, seconded by Commissioner Sandlin.
Enterprise Vault Cloud, that sounds cool, whatever it is.
They're storing emails, lots of them over. We keep them, all of them forever.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Go in my trash box.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Stanley?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Item G, unemployment compensation, Mrs. Nolan?
This is a request to move 500 from the pooled unemployment account to the election unemployment.
So moved.
Commissioner Sandlin,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Jordan. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Stanley?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Item H, hotel motel tax, recreation and tourism, Mrs. Nolan?
Yes, ma'am. We're increasing the estimate, revenue estimate for hotel motel tax. And these other two accounts are a function of the hotel motel tax, 10% for Parks and Recreation, 30% for the CVB. So this is a request to increase the hotel motel tax by $106,000, $10,006 for Parks and Rec, Parks and Fair Boards, and $31,800 for tourism, with the balance of $63,600 going to unassigned fund balance.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Sandlin, seconded by Commissioner Schaefer. Discussion?
The parks and boards, can it be used for anything in there?
No, that's for the Greenway. And the reason why we're doing this, making this particular amendment, is that these, if the revenue comes in higher, then we have to pay these, and it might make those two functions be overdrawn, and we're trying to make sure that those appropriations are not gonna be overdrawn.
Are you're actually adding to the unassigned fund balance also?
Mm-hmm.
And explain that to me, why?
It
I know it's a
it
bookkeeping.
balances.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you're demonstrating
Just
that you've got
60%
more.
go to that's what he's asking.
60%, yeah, the 60.
Goes to the general fund,
Right.
is what he's asking.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, sorry.
Throw the remainder in there.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Stanley?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Item I, this is called County Mayor. Mrs. Nolan?
Yes, because this is where we're gonna pay it.
Oh, we're gonna,
Pay
okay.
it through. On June 20th, the county had a tax sale of properties. Those owners were delinquent in the payment of their taxes over many years. There were no bidders on 7 of the properties, and this amendment is needed to pay the delinquent taxes on the books and chancery and to pay the 2012 taxes due to the county trustee. And 1 property was located in the city of Laverne. So this is a request from the unassigned fund balance of $28,500 to other charges, $28,500.
So we're gonna pay the city of Laverne the back taxes?
The 2012 taxes now that it's our properties.
Just on the county.
Just on the current
County
year?
piece.
Just the current.
Mhm. It was like $32. It's not, wasn't big bucks.
We're spending $28,000 on 7 properties that nobody even bid on.
Right.
That we now will own at the end of 12 months.
What if we didn't pay the $28,000?
We're just not paying ourselves the $28,000.
Not paying ourselves the
Well-
$28,000?
We're sort of swapping.
Well, we're swapping money because we're paying the chancery, and then chancery and the trustee, when they close their books, they turn them back over to us. But
And once
this
they
cleans up their
become-
books.
But once they become county property, they're not taxed anymore.
Right,
Correct.
right.
And we'll just at some point in time, hopefully market these and get them back on the tax roll.
Most of these won't have
I doubt
much
they're great
opportunity.
development properties, I doubt.
Landlocked or
We'll
something?
have to dispose of them at some point. We have to wait 12 months before they're, cannot be
Surplus.
redeemed, you might say, from the previous owners.
And they have 12 months to.
Come pay us back and get the property back.
Mhm.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Jordan.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner P. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum,
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan,
Yeah.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P,
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin,
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer,
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. Gentlemen, items J and K listed as two items, but it's really just one item. County attorney and miscellaneous will be considered as one action. Mrs. Nolan?
Okay, this amendment is it's requested to pay the bills received to date for the condemnation of the property near Eagleville School. This process began in March of 1999. The first case was settled in August of 2007, and the second one was settled in June. The monies that we're asking for will be spent as follows: to the circuit court clerk of $61,773, Cope $74,151, and John Sullivan $3,750. There are estimated additional charges that may come later, and we've estimated those at $10,000. So this request is to increase legal services in the county attorneys by $88,000, coming from unassigned fund balance of $88,000, and increasing in the miscellaneous land $61,800, and requesting that money come from restricted for capital. from the
And we do have
development
some
tax.
additional documentation on the next screen.
Mhm. The next screen just shows is a summary of the two pieces of property and what was paid for each of them. And it's the case 41381 is the one that's just settled. You can look back, these account numbers probably don't mean anything to you, but where we used development tax money to buy the property initially and throughout.
Is the county attorney's fees there, is that his hourly rate, or does he get a percentage on that
Hourly
kind of
rate.
work? Big part?
Hourly rate.
Okay.
If this had started now, this would have, some part of this would have been included in the legal services agreement, would it not?
No,
This
it's
was
just-
all legal.
This would still be at an hourly rate, even condemnation is outside the routine services.
Thought we had a little bit of discussion a few months ago in the other room about eminent domain, and somebody said that would have been included in the legal services fee, but contract, but so this shows eminent domain is not a good option, if at all.
No.
Able to avoid it.
If you
we
can
spent-
settle it at a reasonable number, even though
Yeah.
you might think it's a little high, you would be better served to do it, to buy it.
End up paying attorneys and appraisers and courts and.
Was this for where the house was for the addition out there?
No.
That's where the
Wasn't it
road
the
and the
football
school,
field?
Football
or
field.
part of the school.
7 acres, I think is maybe where the football field and track is.
Oh, okay.
And so totally then, that's what does this 7 acres cost us?
$27,000 an acre.
Wow. We couldn't work that out, huh?
But they weren't able to work it out. I mean, it's been going on,
Started 14 years ago.
yeah, 14 years ago. So.
Yeah.
So who was here in '99? No, Commissioner Salem, you were in
My daughter was born in 99. I know exactly how long it took.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Jordan, thank you. Seconded by Commissioner Jernigan. All in favor, please say aye.
I'm gonna call the roll on that. I'm gonna call the roll on the other.
You know, I guess we should, yes. Call the roll, please. Thank you.
Commissioner Baum,
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan,
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P,
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin,
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer,
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. Gentlemen, we can delete item L. Mrs. Nolan, do you need to say anything about it? Can we just totally delete it?
We totally deleted at this time. At the time that I prepared this, I thought I was going to have cash available to take care of some spend out for a grant. But I was concerned that it was all happening at the end of June 30th, but spoke with the auditors. I don't have to do anything, so.
So just delete that?
Just, we don't have to do this, I'm
Okay,
pulling it.
and let's just move on, please, to the Sheriff's Department and Jail and their budget amendments. Sheriff Arnold, Mr. Russell, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Uh-huh. Yeah, we're on M, the Sheriff's Department and Jail.
I'm sorry. Oh, we skipped one, because I was under the county attorney on.
County Attorney
Yeah.
J.
Remember,
Okay.
that was one. Mhm, that was a little confusing, I know. Mr. Russell?
Yes, ma'am. You can either look at the list or I can read them all off. I basically went through a lot of our non-payroll accounts and all the money that we'd saved up for the year on the
I think you can
sheriff's
just give us
office
the
side.
total, because it's going to be the same
Yeah.
for the sheriff and
Right.
for the jail.
69,429 is the money we've moved.
For
That's gonna
overtime.
go into overtime,
Mhm.
15,000 into part-time, and then related benefits, which totals 101,685.
Okay, it's 101,885. I put your
Yeah,
$200
I got a
back.
typo on this page here.
101,885.
I
Yeah.
fixed the
It's
200.
an 8. Yeah, okay.
Okay, and then your.
Because my original said 889. Okay, and then below that is the payroll line items to balance all these out for the end of the year. We're going to move 32,000 from out of the dispatchers line item and put those into the detectives, SROs, sergeants, and the accountants line items.
Okay.
So,
And then the next screen, you're doing the same thing, but for the jail?
yes, ma'am. The next one, we're doing basically the same thing. I pulled it out of non-payroll line items and put that into overtime and related benefits as well, totaling 37,100. And then we're also pulling 3,000 out of other salary and wages, putting that in part-time personnel line item on the jail side as well.
So going back to the first page on
Yeah.
the amended dates. On amended, we had 779,594. That was up until, I don't know what that date was, but then
That's like right now.
we're amending 69,000 more,
Yep.
correct?
Right.
Or we use that for comp time buybacks,
Yeah,
try to reduce the county's.
we're just gonna move all this into our overtime and then let the guys buy their comp time back, so it reduces the liability on the county. So we're just taking all the money we had left over and putting it over there to try to buy back all the comp time.
What was in our budget for this last one, that we put in there for this part of overtime? Wasn't it 8 something?
It's 8 something, but that also included 50 or 60,000 from the drug fund. Are you talking about for next
Next year.
Next
Yeah,
year?
we're moving 50,000
It's
from
like
drug
8.
fund into that as well.
It's 8 something,
So
but
it's all
but
together.
it
So
also
it's gonna be
includes.
about that same number then?
But but the next year number has an estimate of 50,000 that's going to be funded from the drug fund.
Drug fund.
Mhm.
There's just no way to work the comp time in, is what you're saying.
Well, what we're
Buy it
doing,
back.
yeah, what it is, the guys, a lot of them get 15 minutes for roll call. Different things, and some of them they won't take overtime. They'll take comp time and they'll bank it. And we've got some that have over 300-400 hours of comp time built up, and that's a huge liability against the county. So therefore, we've talked with Lisa and we've just come together going, hey, why don't we buy some of this? Because the guys are sitting on it. And it's just a huge liability against the county.
I thought, Lisa, that we had a max that we would let them.
There is a
hold.
max.
There is.
There's a max, and then once they hit that max,
Oh, my
you don't
goodness,
have a
I don't-
choice. You
Right.
have to pay them.
Right, I was aware of that. Now, I was just wondering, the way you were saying that, I thought you weren't looking at a max on it.
No, we've got it. We've got a lot of them that have it all maxed out. So we just want to try to offer them, say, hey, we'd like to buy this liability back.
Right.
You'd mentioned the roll call thing. You'd said that a couple years ago. What is that again? You
15
coming in
minutes.
early to,
In the detention, we have 3 8-hour shifts. They come in 15 minutes early to go to roll call, and then they get paid for that. So they're really and truly, they're working 8 hours, 15 minutes. So they get paid for that roll call, because naturally you can't just walk right in, take a post, and you have to have a roll call. So you pass on the information, make sure everybody's there, everybody goes to their post together, stuff like that. And that's, if you recall, back under the previous administration, there was the
Fair labor.
Yeah, the fair labor people came in and started forcing it to be paid, because there for a while we didn't get it.
Gentlemen, we need a motion on these amendments.
Move to approve.
Commissioner Jernigan, thank you.
I'll second.
Seconded from Commissioner P. Any further discussion or questions for Sheriff Arnold or Mr. Russell? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
no?
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Elam?
Yes. The drug controlled fund budget amendments, Mrs. Nolan or Mr. Russell?
I'll take care of
Okay.
it. So we're gonna move 5,000 out of the detective's payroll line item, and then restricted for public safety, 5,000, and we'll put that into the overtime pay and related benefits.
Did you say 5,000 for both?
Yes, ma'am.
We have a different number, is that okay? We have,
No,
Well, total's 10, and then
He didn't have
10,000.
oh, you don't have
total.
the one with the overtime, with the,
No.
oh,
let me do it,
Change.
let me do it for
All
you.
right.
The one with, this is the one that we put the benefits in.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's
Oh,
5,000
that's
for
right,
detectives.
68.
You
62.
didn't do the
Confiscated
first.
property.
Yeah, I didn't get that
The
updated
first
sheet.
one.
That was
Yeah.
one she did after I left.
I thought you were gonna do that first.
My fault.
Confiscated property.
Oh, I just passed right over that one.
shall we start with
It's
sale?
just $250,000.
The first one on our pad, we have, the first screen is confiscated
I've got
property.
paper.
Yes.
Shall we start there?
I didn't get that one.
Can we all get on the same page?
Are we on the same page?
Yeah, the
Let
confiscated
Ms.
property.
Nolan
Okay.
We don't have
go ahead.
pages, we got.
Okay, this is an amendment to increase revenue.
Mhm.
This is proceeds from confiscated property of $258,800, and with the offset going into restricted for public safety, $258,800.
Right.
And then the expense side, the other one was 5,000 for, 10,000 for overtime and related benefits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Coming from 5,000 from the detective line item, and 6,020 coming from restricted for public safety.
What's allowed in restricted for public safety?
Public safety, for this
Well,
one, if
Why,
this is.
okay, let me put it another
Okay.
way. Why isn't anything at the jail or the sheriff's office public safety?
It's all public safety.
Yeah, so
Yes.
it can be used for anything out there is what I'm getting at.
Okay, this is money, this is drug fund money.
Okay.
Okay, so it's
This
restricted
is the drug
for
control.
public safety. That's what the fund balance is for this fund.
Okay.
Where we talk about assigned and unassigned and restricted for other things, this is restricted for
Okay.
public safety. Just can't use assigned in this fund.
Got a motion?
No, we do not.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Sandlin. Seconded by Commissioner Jernigan.
Which part are we approving? The part about the comp pay, or the
Both of
250?
Both of
Both
them,
of
if we're clear on that being the
Both.
motion and the second.
That was all I-
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Elam?
Yes.
That's all we got.
Gentlemen, is that it? Thank you very
That's
much.
See y'all Friday.
Come early.
Pack a lunch.
Oh, goodness. Mrs. Snyder? Gentlemen, items 4 and 5 will be presented by Ms. Snyder. And Ms. Snyder, the first one is a grant contract with Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services for the Drug Court.
And I would like you to note that typically we get $50,000 a year. Last year we got an extra $37,500, making $87,500. This year we're getting $107,500. So they're listening to my whining. And plus we have some wonderful representatives that have been helping. So
I was going to say, you're a good whiner.
I am a good whiner, I tell you. I've been whining for years about this, that we should get more money, and somebody finally heard me.
Good.
Yeah. So that's what that is. Do you want me to go on to the second one too, or just that one?
Can we do this all together? Would that, is that?
Would do it.
What do you
I'd
think?
re- I
Would
mean,
you prefer it to be
could be
separate?
separate.
Let's do it separately, please.
Motion
So could we
approved.
have a, thank you, Commissioner Sandlin.
Second.
And seconded by Commissioner P. Any further discussion or questions for Ms. Snyder?
And this is for
And the
The
mayor
signatures.
to execute all the documents. I'm sure that's part of Mr. Sandlin's motion. And
Why, you didn't hear that?
Thank you. Okay.
And there is no match with this, just in case
Call the roll, please.
somebody hadn't bypassed that yet.
Commissioner Baum,
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan,
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P,
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin.
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. Ms. Snyder, we have vendor agreements with the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services for alcohol and drug addiction treatment.
Correct.
And gentlemen, notice we have two. The first one is ADAT and SPOT. So if you'll walk us through that
Sure.
first.
These are the contracts with us from the state. We are a licensed facility to provide services to the public for money, for fees. And so the SPOT grant is for the drug court. So every time somebody who is indigent and does not have insurance and meets 118% of the poverty level, even if they're working, we can charge the state a fee for $25 for a group and $50 for an individual session. With the other vendor agreement, which is called just ADAT DUI, that is obviously for the DUI program, same thing. So we did receive a $10,000 reduction this year, total $5,000 on each contract. The reason for that is apparently they've been doing like everybody else the last few years. They've been scrambling to cover their commitments, and they probably used some money that they didn't really have. And so this year they have to make that deficit up. So all the providers are getting less than they had been getting. Plus they've changed the requirements on the DUI. It can only be a DUI 2. It used to be any DUI. Now it's just a DUI 2.
Okay, and the first one was at $55,000, correct? And
Yes, sir.
gentlemen, when you get to the second one, you'll notice it's a $15,000, and don't be
Correct.
confused because one of these has triplicate copies, I think.
Oh, it's not this one.
Oh, is it not this one? Is it another one? Okay, I hadn't gotten to that far either. So we have both of these that we can consider as one motion.
Move to
Motion
approve. Second.
Okay, help me out there,
Jinx,
please.
Either one would be fine.
Commissioner P, motion, seconded by Commissioner, or the other, Commissioner Schaefer made the motion, seconded by Commissioner P.
What happens when you reach the limit?
That's it.
Well, if they have any
better
extra
be
money,
lower.
we can request it, and they may or may not give it to us. They told us that at the meeting last Friday, so it depends. This year, I don't think we reached, I think we did with DUI, but not with the SPOT.
If you have extra in spot, then DUI, you can't switch them.
No, it's two separate pots of money. Yeah.
Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum.
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan,
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P,
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin,
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
thank you very
you.
much. So those will get executed and sent out by your, no, I'm looking at you, your office.
Well, Judge will start whining at you now.
Yeah. Okay, so it does have to go to the full
Yes,
commission
ma'am.
on Friday,
Yes,
okay, because
ma'am. Then we can
they're
sign.
emailing me and saying, when are you gonna get this in?
Tell
So, okay,
Friday.
We'll have
Then
fun.
they can-
All
You
right.
are good at whining.
I want my money. This is significant bucks here.
I'm talking to you.
Okay, thank you.
Gentlemen, item 6, to request permission to submit a grant application for the 2013-14 Tennessee Agriculture Enhancement Program grant, and I'm afraid we have totally confused Mr. Tuggle.
I think we have, but I'll take this.
Okay.
He is
He was here
requesting.
last week.
I know, he was here last week.
We told him Wednesday.
We just didn't say what week.
Wednesday. But this is a request, Mr. Tuggles, to apply for a grant to the Tennessee Agriculture Enhancement Program. It is for trees. And it is a 50-50 grant. The most that they would get is $20,000, but he felt like he could go to soil conservation and get, not soil conservation. the
Conservation Board.
Conservation Board,
Conservation Board.
yeah.
They've
to help
got,
it.
they've got some fund balance they could use for, this is to plant trees at the Agri Park or somewhere else?
I am assuming at
Agri Park.
Ag Park.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Jordan.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Jernigan.
And how much is he going to ask for, do we know?
Well, the most.
So they'll
it is
decide on how
20.
many matching dollars they have and then.
Yeah, if he's gonna get it from the Conservation
Not to
Board,
exceed
he's
it,
gonna-
not to exceed $20,000.
They're pretty tight with their money over there, they'll,
Okay.
yeah. As long as it's not coming back to us, he'll go with them.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum.
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan.
Yeah.
Commissioner Jordan.
Yes.
Commissioner P.
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin.
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes.
And most of their money comes from revenues generated by the facility, and that money is supposed to go back to enhance the
Right.
facility, so this
Mhm.
is a perfect case. It's the first perfect thing for that.
Question. It's trying to read in here. It says grantees can use volunteer labor or city crews to plant, but the value or cost cannot be included as match. And in other words, if they
Can't be included.
contract with somebody to plant them, that money would not count as part of the match. Is that what that's saying?
Well, if we paid those contractors, yeah, that would be a match.
What?
Yeah, but
There's
it's
eligible expenses. The following are eligible expenses for grant and match: the cost of the trees, mulch, shipping, contracted labor to plant trees, gator bags,
Okay, well, what about the?
acknowledgement sign.
You couldn't get
But
a
if
bunch
we-
of
but if-
inmates over there and then charge for
Inmates
them.
would
for
not-
Right.
hours.
cannot
You
get
can't charge
reimbursed for
them.
that kind of
Okay,
thing.
if it's a bond, well, okay.
Right, you can't do that.
Okay, gentlemen, we're ready for item number 7, a resolution authorizing an interfund capital outlay note not to exceed $7,400,000 for Blackman Middle Annex.
This is a request for interfund loan from the debt service fund to the school capital projects fund or other capital projects fund to have funding in place when the schools let that contract for the annex.
This is no surprise, we've already
Right.
approved the project and it's
Right.
out for bid already, or maybe even the bids may be back, but it's in the process. Motion to approve.
Commissioner Jordan, thank you.
Second motion.
Seconded by Commissioner Sandlin. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum.
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan. Commissioner Jordan.
Yes.
Commissioner P.
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin.
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer.
Yes.
Commissioner Ely.
Yes. Gentlemen, Mr. Sandy, Director Odom. Gentlemen, items 8, 9, and 10 will be all together on the screen. So 8, 9, and 10 we will take care of. First is general purpose school fund budget amendments. Mr. Sandvig, give me a second. I think you have 5 of those.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we will do those 5 as one vote.
All right. The first amendment is for substitute teachers. It has a net increase of $30,550 in substitute teacher pay and does cover that by reducing regular teacher pay and benefits from basically open positions. The rest of the lines in the amendment true up substitute pay to the different budget line items where the expenditures were incurred. The sublines with increases total $125,950. The decrease line's 95,400, and this increase is a 1.33% addition to our essentially $2.3 million budget for substitute teachers. And our recommended motion is to amend a net increase of $30,550 for substitute teacher pay and reduce regular teacher pay and benefits by that same amount as presented.
Unless I see a signal from you that you have questions, let's just continue.
Right. The next amendment is a cleanup amendment of our unemployment compensation. It moves $35,000 in already budgeted unemployment compensation to the specific budget lines where we need it. Recommended motion to amend $35,000 in unemployment compensation to the unemployment line items where it's needed.
Utilities and transportation?
This amendment reallocates $234,987 in budgeted utilities to cover $77,581 in additional custodial supplies, $20,000 for additional water and sewer, and I basically had budgeted all of the savings we were projecting in this partial year in water and sewer. Some of them come from heating the water. So it's probably just a bit of a true up there. $38,820 for a Genesis special education bus and $98,586 for the fuel price adjustments to the bus operator contracts.
So this is school-wide $234,000.
Right.
In utilities that we're not spending, putting them in these other line
Right.
items.
Mhm.
Wow. I know we had a big adjustment last year because of utility cost and stuff, so we've actually saved, this is part of the, maybe the electrical
That was a
thing
couple
and.
of years back, but we had
Right.
increased.
Right.
Yeah.
Altogether, that's.
Yeah. Mhm. Altogether it is a savings, yes.
Okay.
Do you want me to read the
Uh,
motion, or I set it
I
up?
think that's enough. We can go to the number 4.
Number 4 is other expenditures within major function. This takes a total of $517,133 in already budgeted expenditures. It mainly covers contract services, materials, supplies, and equipment. The medical services function, 72,120, reallocates a state grant to coordinated school health and does include some labor. And the central and other function reallocates available salary funds for a vacant position we have to cover additional technology expenditures. Again, this is probably in the 2% range of this group of expenditures. It's fairly small. It's big dollars in our budget.
Number 5, revenues.
And number 5 is nice to have one like this. It is our year-end revenue adjustment for the GPS fund. The entire amount of the increase, $3,038,228, is going to increase fund balance.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Jernigan.
Second motion.
Seconded by Commissioner Salmon. Discussions or questions for Mr. Sanby?
That's not all, though, in ending fund, 3 million.
No, but it just of this growth in revenue, we were able to provide fund balance this year.
Just check.
What part of it was state funds?
No state, well, some miscellaneous state funds are in here. The BEP growth number is not in there.
Okay.
Right.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
But it does say state here, and that's why I was
Right.
questioning.
Yeah, it's a blend, but it's the big dollars are local.
Any further discussion?
Except for water and sewer, even with opening the new school, you left electricity and natural gas the same as last year.
Based on what we've been running. Yeah. I mean, if there's a
Sure, I
spike,
read it right.
if there's a spike in rates, but, yeah, we didn't anticipate that.
They did that last year, though, the electrical rates.
Mr. Sandvik, with the $3 million adjustment to unassigned fund balance, what is the revised unassigned fund balance projection for
Well, it's more the
July 1st?
expenditure side. I think we will come in over 21 million with ease. And that's the number we talked earlier. I'm trying to get comfortable on the expenditure side, and we will be when through the second week in July,
Wow.
we will have some expenditures hitting. That's the great unknown. Primarily utilities.
Textbooks next year.
Yeah, we have signed the POs on all of those that have come in. So, yeah.
Any further discussion? This is the general purpose school fund budget amendments. Call the roll.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Mr. Sandvik, the central cafeteria fund budget amendments?
This is a final cleanup amendment for the centralized cafeteria fund. The biggest item we knew we had, I had amended out the second workers' comp on the job injury installment, and then we decided we did need to pay some in. So that was to fix an overdrawn major function. And then we also, our summer feeding program has been moved back to the Department of Human Services. Every few years, the state changes the way we do them. And that uses a different revenue code. And then the other line items, I just adjust the line item to better match our projected 2012-13 results, left our net decrease to fund balance $490,633. So my revenue changes equal to my expenditure changes in this budget. And
That's the amendment for the central cafeteria fund.
Motion to approve.
Commissioner Sandlin, thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner P. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. And gentlemen, your screen at the bottom says page 2 of 3. If you'll go to the next screen, we do not have to take action on that item. The Capital Projects Fund is on the next page.
And there is a revised list for this fund for 2013-14.
And if you'll scroll one more time, oh goodness, no, it's quite, it's
Yeah.
all the way to the end. There
Mhm.
is the revised list, yes.
Because of the Eagleville Sewer Project, we are postponing our Buchanan project for a year and using that money because we should be able to tie on to Eagleville next year. And in rearranging projects, we also added gymnasium seating for Oakland and Riverdale high schools in the highest tier.
We talked about that at Health Net
Right.
last
Yeah.
night. The
Mhm.
bleachers are original,
1972.
41 years old. When I went to school there a couple of years ago, they were in bad enough shape then.
Yeah.
So gentlemen, our motion will include this revised project list.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Jordan.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Baum. Any further discussion?
What was the central annex then? Windows, never mind. Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
Any further
Y'all-
discussion?
Y'all had that in there
Sorry.
before though, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum?
Yes.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner P?
Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
Aye.
Commissioner Schaefer?
Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Yes. Gentlemen, do you have anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're ready for item 11, and this is final call for any adjustments to the 2013-14 budget.
And I did put a statement of operations in front of you. These few numbers reflect where we left in the last meeting.
there any member of the committee who would like to adjust the budget in any way at this point in time? Okay, let's move to item 12, the tax levy resolution. A resolution authorizing the tax levy in Rutherford County, Tennessee for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2013. And it shall be 2.5652 on each $100 of taxable property, and will provide revenue for each of the following funds and conform to the following levies. County General, 67 cents. Ambulance Service Fund, 5.79 cents. Highway Fund, 1.3 cents. General Purpose Schools, $1, 19.3 cents. Education Capital Projects Fund, 4.51 cents. And Debt Service, 58.62 cents, for a total of 2.5652.
In the other sections, talk about the local funds and how they will be distributed, and there's no change in the way we've distributed.
I will entertain a motion on the tax levy resolution, gentlemen.
I'll make a motion to approve the levy.
Commissioner P., thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Jernigan. Any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Bond?
No.
Commissioner Jernigan?
Read it first. Because I'm an employee of Rutherford County Highway Department, I have a conflict of interest in the proposal about to be voted. However, I declare that my argument and my vote answer only to my conscience and to the obligation to the constituents and the citizens this body represents. Yes.
Commissioner Jordan?
Yes.
Commissioner T?
Because my wife is an employee of the Rutherford County School Board, I have a conflict of interest in the proposal that is about to be voted. However, I declare that my argument and my vote answer only to my conscience and to my obligation to my constituents and the citizens this body represents. Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin?
No.
Commissioner Schaefer?
At this moment, I am an employee of Rutherford County, and I have a conflict of interest in the proposal about to be voted. However, I declare that my argument and my vote answer only to my conscience and to my obligation to my constituents and the citizens this body represents. Yes.
Commissioner Ely?
Because I'm a retired employee of the Rutherford County Board of Education, I have a conflict of interest in the proposal about to be voted. However, I declare that my argument and my vote answer only to my conscience and to my obligation to my constituents and the citizens this body represents. Yes. Gentlemen, item 13, the appropriations resolution.
Motion approved.
I guess I need to read this into the record.
Okay.
Do you think I should? I think I probably should read this into the record.
Well, I'd hit the highlights.
Okay.
Right.
A resolution making appropriations for the various funds, departments, institutions, offices, and agencies of Rutherford County, Tennessee for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2013 and ending June 30, 2014 for the general fund. The appropriations are $83,110,306. Rutherford County Economic Development, $243,745. Solid Waste Sanitation Fund, $4,208,265. Ambulance Service Fund, $12,640,859. Special Purpose Fund, $29,989. Drug Control Fund, $364,610. Highway Fund, $9,145,289. General Purpose School Fund, $300,005,565. Central Cafeteria Fund, $19,089,953. Education Capital Projects Fund, $2,466,383. Debt Service Fund, $50,482,817.
Now I'll make the motion.
Thank you, Commissioner Jordan.
Y'all second.
And seconded by Commissioner P. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Baum,
No.
Commissioner Jernigan,
Make the same statement I did a while ago, yes.
Commissioner Jordan,
Yes.
Commissioner P.
Because my wife is an employee of the Rutherford County School Board, I have a conflict of interest in the proposal about to be voted. However, I declare that my argument and my vote answer only to my conscience and to my obligation to my constituents and the citizens this body represents. Yes.
Commissioner Sandlin,
No.
Commissioner Schaefer,
Same statement as before, yes.
Commissioner Eel.
Please note my conflict of interest statement. My vote is yes. Gentlemen, item 14, we have an agreement of resignation, appointment, and acceptance in connection with the sale of Deutsche Bank to U.S. Bank. Mrs. Nolan.
U.S. Bank purchased Deutsche Bank's, I'm trying to find where it was, it sold its municipal bond trustee business. And so Deutsche was one of our paying agents, and so this will be assigning those responsibilities to U.S. Bank. This is the one that there's three
It's on here three
times.
Oh, this is the one where we have 3 different copies, so don't be confused by that.
And so this is a request for the mayor to execute these agreements.
Move to approve.
Thank you, Commissioner Jernigan.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Sandlin.
Now, you're saying that Deutsche Bank bought out?
No, the other way
or
around.
the other way
U.S.
around?
Bank bought out Deutsche.
Okay.
Didn't really have a
Or
say in
probably
that.
all over.
It's just like
I'm
your,
just curious,
like
though.
your
Yeah.
mortgage getting changed, right?
I'd like to know who's
holding it, yeah.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you,
Who's
Judge.
holding the money?
Okay, under other business, I would first of all like to say a special thank you to Mayor Burgess for his leadership and guidance during this budget process. I owe a very special thank you to my right-hand men. Really, it's a right-hand and left-hand lady here. If you don't already know it, Rutherford County gets their money's worth and more with the work these 2 ladies do for the county. And gentlemen, you are the best. Thank you for the work that you have done to prepare for this committee. And I especially appreciate your attitude with working on this budget, and that attitude being very thoughtful, very deliberate, and very much aware that we are dealing with public funds. I appreciate your responsible attitude. And thank you for being so respectful of each other, even when we do not always agree. I appreciate what you've done for this during this budget process. My special thanks to all of you. Is there anything else that needs to come before the committee?
I'll agree with everything you just said, and we'll note that I noticed Memorial Day, middle of the morning, I got an email on minutes of one of the meetings from Ms. Short, and so I texted Ms. Nolan and said, "You're a slave driver making your employees work Memorial Day," and she said, "I'm here too." So they were at the office in the courthouse, 10 o'clock in the morning, Memorial Day, when everybody else at the lake or grilling out or whatever, and they're here working, and I appreciate all their effort.
Anything else that needs to come before our committee?
Well, we're gonna miss Miss Short. This is her last month, right? Or
I've
No.
got 6 more months.
December.
Oh.
December.
Okay.
Don't not yet.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. I was thinking.
They change their mind.
There we go. We got plenty of time to change your mind.
But in this next request, just just going back to what my request was, is to be bringing somebody in at least and have 2, maybe 3 months training.
Gentlemen, we will see you 9 a.m. Friday morning.
Well, I was gonna plug the barbecue, but I was gonna wait till Friday, I guess.
Oh,
but,
you want a bigger audience,
The
huh?
Blackman, well,
Do it
no,
both.
go ahead and make your plans now. The Blackman Barbecue, I don't even remember what annual it is. It's been a long time. So, out at the Lane Agri Park, starts Friday night, about 5 o'clock, I think, to start serving. So, if you hadn't got your tickets, get them. If you hadn't got them, go out there. There's plenty of room. It's gonna be in a cool and have some good barbecue and good music and fun. It's a good family event.
Anything else that needs to come before our committee? Thank you, gentlemen. We are adjourned.